Hi, welcome to another video on my Raspberry Pi 2 running Ubuntu Linux and using the robot operating system. Last time I had made several changes to circuit and to the code, and by running everything I found out that not only the switch is not really responded to in the code, but also the output from this is not really what it should be, and this pin 7 is actually the input to the motor. Everything should be either 0 or 1, and preferably at the time that a switch is either pressed or released. I have only one switch, and let me show you. Upon pressing this switch, this wire leads to this circuit with the transistor and the LED, and this LED, and that should turn on the motor. Nothing of that happens. Moreover, when I press it, then it seems not to matter what the output is. So for some very weird reason, and this is a subscriber, I need to see the publisher. Here I press input, and for some reason that does not always match. Is this a matter of delay? I don't know. What I do know is that there's a 1 second delay between what happens and what you see on camera. So when I really press the switch, then 1 second later you see it happening here. So that's a delay. But on the other hand, that's not a delay that I see here. So it's not really nice. Anyway, let me start everything. And also here. So anyway, I press the switch, but you already see in the upper window that everything is 1, and I am very clearly not pressing the switch, so everything in the upper window should be 0. So that's something that's not right either anyway. The question is, and that's a very big question, why? Am I looking at the wrong wires? Could be. On the other hand, is this, and you see an LED going on and off. Is that really the data? Well, one thing to find out. This is the data. This is going to plus. No, minus. This is the ground wire. This is the ground wire. And this is the plus wire. So this is the signal wire. And I already tried here to say, okay, I need to really find out which is the how I can find out what signal the switch wire really is. I already did that here. This captures the input from here, and I really need to find out which is here going in. I already did that, by the way, right here, printing the input, and that gives the wrong. So whenever I press 1, input here should stay 1, and it doesn't. Question, very big question. What to do? Now, without touching the switch, it is very interesting to study output anyway. And then I am talking about this part of the output, because what I notice is that, let me take the code with it. Here, for example, it says print input is 1, then you read input 11, assign it to variable I, and then print the actual status of input 11. Now when you look here, and it goes by very fast, that it happens that the input is 0 and these two are 1, or vice versa. It happens quite fast. Let me just stop this and see if I can very fast see, like here. Excellent example. Input is 0, which is only here, but status of input the status of pin 11 is 1. And so it prints 1. So how can it be that while it should be 0, they are 1, and here they are 1? Is that delay? Is that actually delay? Let me find further. Here I find 1 with input is 0. It doesn't match. It doesn't make sense. But it now this is just text, of course, so this will not change, but it doesn't make sense that it prints 1 while this is 0, because it is in an if statement of 1. So if this is 1, input is 1 is printed, and this can never be 0. This should always be 0, 0, 0, and here 1, 1, 1. It should be 3 1s. So how is this possible? That is a very, very good question. And if this doesn't match, this doesn't work. So you read something from the input, and while you select on the input being 1, the input is actually 0, as it shows here. that is not correct at all, but how does it occur anyway? This is very strange, because this is not an assignment. This is a comparator if this value is actually this value. No, I say it wrong. If the status of this is actually 1, the content, if this is 1, then print yes, input is 1, and yet it is 0. So this, like 0, 1, 1, can never happen, should never be able to happen, and yet it does. This is a very big riddle, and as yet, how do I solve it? A very good question, but it doesn't make any sense. When this is not quite okay, the question is this quite okay? So what I'm going to do is actually do exactly the same. Print data 2, data 0 is 1, and I copy it, put it here, and change this one in here. So that means that whenever whatever happens, this should be 1 and this one should be 1. Likewise, this one is 0 and this one should be 0. So I'm curious if it will ever be occurring that this one is 1 and this is 0 and vice versa. Also, what I want to do is change this else if into if. Will that matter? I have no idea. But if I don't try, I won't find out. Those are the only important ifs. So let me save this one. Stop this now. Save it and go. That means go. And yes. And once again, I'm not touching any switch. Now if I look, the same thing here is happening again, but does it happen here? So let me stop this and scroll back. GPIO7 is true. It says here data is 1, 1 and 1, so that is correct. But is the rest correct? 3 ones. Also 3 times a 1. Which is, by the way, not correct. Well, if you see this, it is correct, but it's not correct because I'm not touching the switch. But considering this, it's impossible. It should be all zeros since I'm not touching the switch. So something is not correct. Yeah, 3 ones here as well. Okay, it certainly looks like this being okay. So let me continue. So this seems to be alright, but question remains, why is this not correct? Is it the wiring? Is it the... I'm not now touching the switch, but it doesn't matter because you see 1 anyway. Although you see 0 now. Now you see 0 and now you see 0 here as well. So what doesn't seem true? All 1s again and a few 0s. And if you look here, you can see that this LED is burning. So right now you see with the LED I am pressing it, and yet you see 1s coming by and 0s coming. You see 0s coming by now. I do think it is time to test the Raspberry Pi to see if there's any mistake in the GPIO, but I doubt it is, since if that would be the case, according to my reasoning, then this would be 1 value and not 1 unless things are inverted. Alright, so the data transfer from publisher to subscriber is alright, but this does not make sense. That needs to be my main focus, my big focus for now. Although another problem is, if it is 1, why doesn't the motor run? That's a very big question as well. But once I think that once I solve this, I'll be I'll be a lot happier. Yeah. And the experiment has just gone weirder, because what I have done is making sure that the output of the switch is actually decoupled. So while this wire was directly coupled here, let me shine the light better. So this orange wire is the input and this is the output from the switch, and it was like here, and this part is not coupled with this part. You need a jump wire. So what I'm doing, at least as far as I know, so I'm doing it like this, and I can check that easily, by the way, if things are connected. But let me put it this way: if you can see they're not coupled now, or should not be, and yet I see a 1 here and zeros, so that's one thing. Now to check if that is indeed true, I need 2 pieces of wire. Just an idea I get. I'll put one in here and another piece of wire I'm putting in here, which is the same lane, and taking the multimeter, what should happen is that I don't get a beep from connected. So that's one way to be absolutely sure. So right now you see the probe connecting to the probe, connecting to the other one, and indeed it says there's no connection. So these two parts are not connected. So that's one thing. So how come this is still showing the same output? Effectively you can't. So next idea is to put this one here. Take this resistor and put it in between. Because you see I use quite a number of resistors here. So what will happen, if anything? Switch is still pressed, but that is the thing to mask. And there's absolutely no change in output. Looking here, upper window, I'm pressing the switch. I'll show you. I'm pressing the switch. It should be all ones, and I see a lot of zeros. So that's nothing either. Any other ideas? Yeah. Checking the interface. That's all that remains for now. Because I have to get this right if I ever want to get this motor running. Ever. Anything else that I can test right now? Well, the motor is right now out of suggestions. It should have run by now, but alright. Download the program and test the interface. That's it for now. Well, yeah, that's all I can do right now. So to actually test if things are alright with the GPIO in itself, I have downloaded RaspberryPi and will run pin test. To do that, I have taken off the this cable, the broad cable, from the GPIO, and I am running the test right now. Everything is decoupled. Pin 1516 failure. So pin 16, which is what? That is the good question. Assuming that it is GPIO, if I count GPIO, I have no problems with it, because I'm not using that. If it is GPIO 16, then I don't know. Alright, so which one is which? Bit hard to tell now. BCM, dus RPI, so that is the original GPIO number thing. And if I look at that, or I look here, so these are two different pins. I'm assuming it is 16 that they are looking for, and they say, alright, expected 0 got 1. But since there's GPIO 16 is pin 36, and I'm not using pin 16, so I guess the point is now that this problem, which is the switch problem with this one, is not caused by any error. And that's an important conclusion. Remains the fact that I have faulty errors somehow. Why is that? That is still unknown to me. Okay, I've put the cable back onto the GPIO. Let's run everything again. Will something have changed? I doubt it. No, nothing has changed. So, that is a very big riddle. Why is this going on? I have to look further, obviously, but maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. But that will be researched further in the next episode. Thank you for watching. I have changed a little bit in the code. I have changed the wiring a little bit right here. Found out that statuses are not what they seem, and hope to solve it later. For now, thank you for watching. Once again, if you like my videos and haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Also see my Instagram. If you like my videos, please consider to make a small donation to keep my blog and videos coming up. For information, please see my website, which is listed, which is shown in front of at the start of this video and under this video. And this is certainly to be continued. So, bye bye.